What is seer? Seer is a subject. The subject which experience is called as seer. For example, right now my eyes are seer. They are experiencing the screen and the things around me, right? So the things are seen, my eyes are seer. Very simple concept, no technology, no complications, very, very simple. But before discussing, we are going to basically agree on some ground rules ourselves. Why? So that afterwards, there should not be any confusion, because we are setting the ground rules of seer and seen. What is the first ground rule? The first ground rule or the condition is seer is one and seen are many. Now I am going to take only single example to set these ground rules, right? My eyes are one, means it's a pair, but it is one type of instrument. So it is one, and the seen are many. I'm seeing screen, I'm seeing CPU, printer, water bottle, and the variety of the things. And the same is your case, but I'm just taking my example. So right now my eyes are seer, right? My eyes are one pair, one only, and seen are many. So this is a condition of the relationship between a seer and seen. I am explaining that relation to you by taking the example of my eyes, right? So there can be multiple examples, but this is the simplest of example I am taking, right? So my eyes are seer, they are only one, and there are many scenes is the first condition. So no one should have any objection or the query on this particular statement. That is, seer is one and the seen are many. Now, again, very simple condition. The seer and seen are different. My eyes are different and my computer screen is different, right? They are separate from each other. Because there is a seer and there is a seen, means they are two different entities. Again, very simple. The scene keeps changing, right? My position of the computer screen will change, right? So the colors on the walls might change, the arrangement of the furniture might change, but my eyes are going to hopefully remain the same, right? So the scene keeps changing, the world keeps changing, right? But the seer who is seeing the world is relatively not changing. Why it is relatively not changing? Because my eyes will also become old and all that. So barring that particular say nitty-gritties, generically we can say the seer, the experiencer do not change, but the scene, what we are experiencing, the world keeps changing. Again, it's very simple condition, simple relation between the seer and seen. And keep this in mind. Why? Because once we will understand this particular concept, so you are going to relate this with the condition, right? So the seer is sentient. That is, the seer can experience the feelings. My eyes can experience the feelings. But the seen are the things, objects, right? They are not sentient. They do not have feelings on their own. So what is the condition? The seer is sentient. The experiencer is sentient. The knower is sentient, has feelings and emotions. But the things which are being felt, the objects, right? The known is not sentient in relation to the seer. Means, for example, if you are dealing with some kind of sentient objects, for example, then in that case, the sentiency of a seer is higher than the sentiency of a seen, right? So everything is relative. So what I am trying to establish, I am trying to establish the upper hand of the seer. I am trying to establish the upper hand of the subject, right? So seer is only one. Seer is different than the seen. Seer relatively doesn't change as compared to the seen, and the seer has emotions and the feelings. Seer is the experiencer. Seer is sentient. Is what I am just establishing the upper hand of the seer on one hand, and I am differentiating seer and seen on the other hand. I can say, barring exception of some introspection means and all that, means if you have any question at that particular point in time, I will take that particular question if you have the question. So the same thing cannot be seer and seen at the same time. So this is a statement I'm making. At the same time, at that particular instant, the seer and seen cannot be same. Why? Because they are separate from each other. They are different from each other. Seer has a higher level, seen has a lower level. So is there any confusion in the conditions of the seer and seen? Okay. So now we will go for a logical process to understand the ultimate seer. Now, when we are going for a logical process, please keep those conditions in mind. Means, for example, if you have any question in mind, you can just refer to those particular conditions we have. But again, I doubt whether there will be any question, because again, this is also very simple. Means, intellectual people sometimes make things complicated. So this is very simple. I'm not that intellectual, so I'm not going to make things complex in any way. So what is the step one? Now I'm going to carry forward the example what I have already given you, right? What was the example I started? I started with my eyes example, and I'm going to continue it at the 3 levels only 3 levels. Level number 1, step number 1, my eyes are the seer, no doubt, and things around me are the seen, objects. My eyes are the subject, all other things are the objects. Even if it is a human being, it is an object, because for the eyes, it is an object, right? So this is my step 1. So compared to the object, my eyes have now the upper hand. My eyes are experiencing the things. Good. So this is step number 1 or level number 1. So I think instead of S, it is L. So it is level number 1. Level number 2. But who is seeing the eyes? My mind is seeing the eyes. My mind is controlling my eyes. Means, for example, now my mind has decided my eyes will be closed. Close. Who has the upper hand? My mind clearly has the upper hand. Imagine those particular conditions. Seer has the upper hand. My mind is seeing through my eyes. So for my mind, my eyes are the object. They are the seen. Who is the seer? My mind is the seer. I can play with my eyes. I can understand. For the mind, eyes are changing. For the mind, my eyes are changing. The power of my eyesight is changing, and my mind is aware of that. So the mind has now the upper hand. So in level 2, it is the mind which is a seer. And in level 1, my eyes were the seer. Now in level 2, my eyes have become the seen. So as I go inward, as I think Jnana Yoga, as I intellectually analyze it, I understand, oh, my eyes are not the seer. My mind is the seer, is the level 2. So my mind is the knower and my eyes are the known in level 2. Now I go to the next level. Now, for example, let me observe my mind. Okay, what is the thought coming in my mind? In my thought coming in my mind, am I making the topic complex? It is so simple, common sensial topic, but I have prepared slides and I am making some comparison. Am I unnecessarily complex? Honestly, these are the thoughts in my mind. It is not that I am saying it for the sake of saying. I am actually thinking that is there a more simpler way of explaining this? Why we have to put so many conditions and all that, right? So now these are, I am observing. Who is that? Who is that who is observing my mind? I am aware about my emotions in the mind, right? I am aware how I am feeling now. I am feeling comparatively calmer now. Right? I am experiencing my emotions. I am experiencing the thoughts in my mind. So now who is the object now here? Who is the known? My mind is now known. And who is the knower? Who is the knower? So my inner witness, my consciousness is the knower. So I have a consciousness, and that consciousness is observing my mind. Of course, there are some instances where mind observes mind. But when you introspect, when your mind observes your own mind, who understands that you are introspecting? Is someone telling you, oh, Hemant, wait. Now I understand you are introspecting. Am I right? No. Nobody is observing me. I am only observing my mind and I am thinking that I am introspecting. So again, even if the mind introspects itself, still my awareness is at work, which understands that I am introspecting. So that is what is inner witness. Very simple, right? So there is no logic. Means it is so illogical to think that I am my body. It is so illogical to think that I am my mind. It is very clear that I am something more which is observing my mind. Why? Because we will go to the conditions. What is the condition? My mind keeps changing. See, now I am going to put mind here. Okay, I will go from the condition number 1. My consciousness is one, but my mind has many thoughts, many states. Sometimes I'm happy, sometimes I'm sad, sometimes I'm peaceful, sometimes I'm having some kind of different. So my mind is changing. Of course, it's common sense that my mind is changing, but my consciousness remains same. It observes the changes of the mind inertly as a seer. Condition number 2. We have already agreed that the seer and seen are different. So my mind, I cannot be my mind. If I am the mind, I cannot see myself, right? So if I am in a position to see my mind, that means I am something different than the mind. Very simple, point number 2. Because the seer and seen are different, so my consciousness and my mind are different. Very simple. Again, means if someone of you in future can explain this in a more simplistic way, I will be the happiest person. The mind keeps changing. At childhood, my mind was different. Right now, my mind is different. After 10 years, my mind will be different. The thought processes, right, in my mind will keep changing. Consciousness is remaining same. It is a observer. Whether I am a child or adult or old person, my consciousness is observing everything. So again, condition number 3. My consciousness is feeling. My consciousness has a upper hand. My consciousness is real experiencer. My mind is also experiencer. But in comparison to the mind, my consciousness is more sentient. So this is the reason why we are talking about relation. I'm not saying mind is inert. I'm not saying mind is not sentient. But it is like a father and son. Father is father. Like that, pure consciousness has more sentiency because pure consciousness is observing, feeling everything. And it is also observing the changing feeling. So the sentiency of the pure consciousness is higher, or the inner consciousness is higher than the mind. And we have already discussed and agreed that the same thing cannot be seer and seen. So my inner consciousness and mind cannot be the same thing, right? They have to be different. So now it is very common sensial thing that it is very clear that I am not my mind. Then who am I? I am the inner witness. I am the seer. I observe my body. I observe my mind. And that I is the inner witness, sakshi, or pure consciousness, which is the ultimate seer. Because there are levels. At each level, There is a role played by seen and seer. But can I see my consciousness? Of course, no. I can only observe my mind. But now I'm thinking in my mind, oh, wait. There is something called as pure consciousness, and let me observe that pure. It is beyond the level of the mind. Now you are at a fourth level. Mind is at a third level. Now beyond the mind, how can mind see? Right? So now it is beyond the competence level of the mind. So no one can see, means especially we human beings, we cannot see our pure consciousness, because the pure consciousness in our case is ultimate seer. It is the pure consciousness which sees the mind. It is the mind which observes the body and the world. So there are clear-cut three levels: body level, mind level, and consciousness level. And consciousness level has the upper hand, and consciousness is different than the mind, which we have already seen from all these conditions very clearly. Right? So this is what we are talking about. Now, there is a reason of we discussing it. Means it is not for the theoretical purpose or show off, right? So neither I am showing off on the conceptual level, not you are going to show off. What is the real purpose of this discussion? Real purpose of the discussion is that we need to differentiate ourselves with our mind and body. The miseries in our life are because we think that we are our body and mind. Once we understand that I am not my body and mind, my approach towards world will change. My approach towards myself will change. Whether the things will change? No, things will remain same. My computer screen will remain same. Everything remains same around me. But the way I am looking is different. Now I am looking at me from the third perspective. Now I am in a position to manage my emotions and the situations in my life from a very higher and different level. This is the purpose of this discussion. The purpose of this discussion is not to by heart these particular 5 conditions and S1, S2, S3 or L1, L2, L3 and understand that, okay, there is a something called as ultimate pure consciousness. No. The purpose is very simple. The purpose is to differentiate ourselves from the mind and body, because all the miseries are either associated with the body or associated with the mind. Either you are suffering because of your body, something is not functioning good in the body, or you are suffering because of the mind. Mind has sorrow, mind has some kind of issue. Can you tell me that is there any other misery you are having apart from your body and mind? You can't have. You maybe come up with some hypothetical cases, but they are wrong. All the miseries are only associated with body and mind. And now what we are doing? We are disassociating ourselves with the body and mind. Can you imagine the impact? Can you imagine how now the intensity of the suffering you can reduce only by observing those sufferings from the third perspective, not getting associated with those sufferings? Can you imagine that? And that is the difference between the awakened human beings and us. That is the only difference. They also eat same thing, right? They also see same thing. They also breathe the same air. World is not changing. World is, all the Maya is remaining same. Only our outlook is changing, and it is the outlook that matters. Right? So this is the learning from this particular ideology. Right? Disassociate, because, and you don't have to actually disassociate. You are already disassociated. You have to only understand that you are not your mind and body, and you are already disassociated. So for that, there is no technology. I'm not going to teach you some meditation technique. Okay, because of this particular meditation technique, now you will No. You are already disassociated. Associated. You are already not body and mind. Only you are realizing it now. Only you are thinking in that direction now. Only you are now seeing it like the way it is. It is always the case. Right? Means it is not that yesterday you were body and mind, and today there is some technology has happened and you have got some kind of nothing. You are always pure consciousness. You were never your body and mind.